$500 million in liquidations. Over the past 24 hours, we saw almost $500 million in long liquidations, took place in the crypto market. So short-term reversal or sign of something more, let me know in the comments down below. Of course, I'm going to share my personal thoughts with you guys as to what I think is happening. But welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the XRP holders. Appreciate you guys as always for showing tremendous amount of love day in, day out. So if you're looking across the board right now, of course on the daily time frame, it shouldn't really be a major surprise to anyone that we're seeing quite a bit of retracement for multiple coins across the board. As far as XRP is concerned, we're down about 10.4% in USD comparative. If we're looking at the last 1 hour though, going into Thursday morning, you're starting to see the market picking up again. So so far so good, but we need to keep other factors in mind, which of course I will bring out to you guys as we go further into this update. But looking at the price of XRP, let's give it a refresh live right now. $3.10, down 11% in Bitcoin comparative. The valuation at $183.3 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at about 16.6 billion. Now, but before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So, $12.5 trillion asset manager BlackRock says de-dollarization causes central banks to shift to other currencies and alternative assets such as gold, and of course with consideration for Bitcoin. Remember, Bitcoin's labeled as a digital gold, and it explains why we're seeing a tremendous amount of interest coming in from major players across the board. It being seen as a major asset class to hedge against inflation. As we know, the dollar has been decreasing quite substantially in the year of 2025, and usually when that happens, you do tend to see the likes of Bitcoin, gold, thriving. And this time around, we're seeing record levels in terms of inflows coming in for digital assets, specifically BTC. Moving forward, though, look at this: 185 billion Key Corp Bank CEO says crypto is a store of value to the extent that our clients want it, and they want to hold it in their wallets, and we will, accommodate to that. So we're starting to see a very similar pattern playing out. A lot of major banks are starting to, obviously banks have gotten that clarity, and of course that green light from regulators to start offering crypto to their clientele. Of course, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time, but you can really see how TradeFi and crypto are really coming together, and this is by no means something we should be ignoring. This is major, and this is one of many examples that I've shared with you guys on the channel. And around 85.8 million of Bitcoin were sold, and $332.2 million of Ethereum were bought. So, Ethereum continuously gaining a lot of traction and inflows on the ETF side, still showing a lot of strength, and something we should not be ignoring when we are analyzing the market. But a quick note, shout out to Brad Girlinghouse, for looking out for all of the investors, because right now there's a lot of spam stuff that is being thrown around. Pretty much, simple as I say always in my videos. You never, if you watch a video, or if you even see an advertisement or whatever the case may be, never stand or click on any random links. It's very, very important when the bull market obviously is at crazy levels. You do tend to see a lot of these bad players coming in to take advantage of innocent people. So what I would suggest you guys to do is never, just make this a habit. Never send your hard-earned money to anyone. Of course, there's going to be a lot of imposters. Even there's imposters that pose as me. There's imposters pose as projects. You never want to be sending your hard-earned money to anyone. You never want to be calling anyone. No one's going to call you. I promise you that. If you're watching videos, just watch it, like it, and of course comment down below. Don't interact, anything like that. Very, very important. Like I said, be vigilant. And like I said, do your due diligence. Very, very important. And never send your crypto to anyone, and do not click on random links. Very important. Shout out to Brad Girlinghouse for looking out for the community, because of course we have a lot of new money coming in. When retail interest picks up, you do tend to see these types of things really heating up. So like I said, we want to be always vigilant as what we're doing. So Bohin sends, the president working group on digital assets has completed the 180-day report. It will be released publicly on July 30th. So in about a week's time from now, this will be public, and America is now leading the way on digital asset policy. Of course, something a lot of people have been waiting for, and now we know the date as to when to look that for, which is July 30th. But shout out to Smoke, being ISO 20022 compliant, cryptocurrencies that have a greater likelihood of being integrated into the centralized payment systems. Compliance with ISO can help cryptocurrencies meet regulatory requirements more efficiently, boosting their credibility and trust with regulators and traditional financial players. Does any project ring a bell? A lot of these ISO compliant blockchains, of course, as we know, RippleNet is one of the payment services that Ripple has launched, of course, and that is ISO compliant. So that rings a bell, and this is why we want to be paying attention to it. And as we do see this complete shift taking place, you can see the likes of these financial institutions, wanting to maybe use RippleNet. That's where XRP is kind of being used in a way, because of course RippleNet requires XRP native token usability in that system itself, which of course makes XRP being used, and this is where the excitement really comes into play. Obviously, look at this. Vert, one of the Brazil's leading securitization and fund management companies, launches blockchain platform for a structured credit with BRL 700 million issuance on XRP Ledger and EVM sidechain. And shout out to chat saying, I'm telling y'all, they're just wiping out the XRP longs, biggest flush ever at 82.5 million. And I totally agree, because if you're looking at what's happening with the crypto markets right now, it's very, very interesting, because Bitcoin has actually been ranging pretty much where it was over the course of the last, 1 week, week and a half. It's still ranging around this level. It actually went up compared to yesterday. Yet you're looking at, the market seeing quite a bit of a retracement across the board. It pretty much sums it up, guys. It is the dominance. Very, very important thing that I obviously talk to you guys about on a day-to-day basis. It has gone up quite a bit in such a short span of time, which is causing a lag for the broader market. I did indicate this in my other updates as well. Very important to remain below this. Very, very important. But I think the way dominance did go up, I think manipulation is occurring. In my personal opinion, as I stated to you guys before in the update, I will share my thoughts as to what's happening. I personally think, this was purposely done to, obviously shake out the longs, because it's very important to keep in mind Bitcoin is holding really nicely, yet you're seeing so much retracement for a lot of altcoins. It was to wipe out longs, in my opinion. And you could really see this, causing the dominance, pick up quite a bit. You guys might think or are wondering what causes this to happen. So let me give you guys an example. Bunch of whales. Again, these are market makers, market manipulators. They would usually sell a certain coin on a market. So, rather than selling it on limit order, they would do a market sell order, and we're talking about huge chunks of it, right? And that money will shift into BTC, causing the dominance to go up. And that's exactly what I think is happening right now. But as long as we stay below here, I think this is going to be a good sign. Of course, if we start heading back towards the upside and Bitcoin holds around where it is, this could mean a little bit more downside for altcoins to come. And of course, FOMC meeting coming up next week. A lot of people are anticipating maybe no rate cut to happen during the FOMC meeting, but we need to keep in mind, that is something we need to keep in mind when we are talking about a potential shakeout for the market. But let me know in the comments down below if you guys agree with my overall take as to what's happening with the dominance. But very, very important to remain below here. We'll see what happens tomorrow. If you're looking at BTC, like I said, still holding around 118,500, looking really nice. But look at what happened with XRP. You cannot make this up at this point, guys. You just can't make this up. Let's get rid of this drawing that I draw for you guys yesterday. Look at this, guys. Remember this resistance that we spoke to you guys about over the course of the last few times. This exact same resistance, I drew this line for you guys literally a few days back. A shout out to the regular viewers that follow my channel. You can see this was a major resistance for us. We're having a little bit of a hard time breaking out of this range. I spoke to you guys about this, and that exact same resistance played out as a support. We literally touched right at the neckline. You can't make this up. Look at it for yourself. Right at the neckline, and we have seen that resistance play as a support. If you had your buy orders placed in around here, we're looking at an increase of about 5% since that specific retest. So if you want to put XRP's retracement into perspective, we have seen a pullback of about, you could say, about 17.2%, pretty much similar to what we're seeing across the board. Very, very important for the price of XRP to hold around this range, but obviously we need to keep in mind what happens with the dominance. Very, very important to keep that in mind, because of course if the dominance starts to climb up, maybe we do see the price of XRP dropping below here, which could maybe take us down to the likes of 274 even. Right now, we're holding really nicely. Keep a very close eye on the dominance. I personally believe this is going to be short-lived. We'll obviously see as time goes by. Do let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. We'll see you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.